This video showcases two solutions from Hyphenate's Accelerate range. This is our range of solutions on Salesforce that fast-track implementation to minimize costs, make configuration simple, and are flexible and scalable so you can adapt to change. Users can feel daunted when they first use new technology or when processes change, particularly when they have multiple steps. They may need to refer to user guides, which can really slow them down. Which is why Hyphenate developed our dynamic checks and dynamic help components to guide and engage users throughout their daily workflow processes. These are used by organisations such as Comic Relief and National Lottery Community Fund to simplify their user experience. Let's take a look at the dynamic checks, a checklist of actions displayed dynamically. We can see that this record has a status of initial checks. If we click on the Checks tab, we can see the content, which is completely flexible. You can manage the sections, the labels, what appears in the help icon, and sections can be expanded or collapsed. This example is a grant application, but checks can be applied to any record with a list of actions, such as campaign planning, membership management, or checks of any kind. If we tick one of these options, two things happen. Firstly, the button to progress to the next stage is greyed out, and a new section appears to populate feedback email text. If I untick the check, the button is no longer greyed out. The second example of checks is slightly different. The checks appear depending on the record status. So we're currently in review status and I can tick the review checks as I complete them. When I change the status to approval, a new set of checks will appear. The wording and order of checks can quickly and easily be changed. Native Salesforce automation processes can be used with checks to trigger record updates or creations. If I go to the Assessments tab, there are currently no records showing. But if I return to the checks and tick the check to indicate a legal review is required, this triggers the creation of an assessment record. So we can now see that the assessment has been created. Now let's look at dynamic help. This controls the display of on-screen guidance for users to guide them on specific processes. This is a good example of how a process had to change due to COVID-19, so users can access information on the updated process instantly within the screen based on the type of record. In this case, the Help tab is positioned within the activity panel on the right, but could also have been accessed via a main tab in the main section. Another example of help is on this fundraising opportunity record. Here we want to display a help message only if the donation is over £10,000, and we can see that currently the amount is £5,000. So when I go to the Help tab, there is no message currently displayed. If I go to change the amount to £12,000, and return to the Help tab, the content now appears to instruct the user on next steps. These two components, dynamic checks and dynamic help, really help to engage your users and to guide them through their workflow, giving them on-screen guidance and allowing them to work through the steps relevant to each process really easily. For more information on our Accelerate range, get in touch.